question in geometry, alright, we have to calculate the value of n. And the most important thing about this question or question of this nature is we need to observe the various properties given to us. We have different shapes here. Okay, you can see a triangle, but inside a triangle we can see a quadrilateral, we can see another triangle, and we can see another triangle. All right, we have a quadrilateral, we have two types of triangles here. Okay, the quadrilateral is unknown because the length or the nature of the sides were not given, but based on the marking, the strokes against each of the lines with respect to the triangles, we can be able to identify the types of triangle. And in this first triangle, you notice 3 strokes here, here, and here. That means the 3 sides of the triangles are equal in length. All right, so this brings us to mind of a equilateral triangle, because it is a triangle that has a character like this. It is a triangle in which all the interior sides are equal. All right, so we have an equilateral triangle here, and in this case we have 2 strokes. All right, remember the diagram is not drawn to scale. All right, this obviously looks longer, but based on the stroke we are told that they are equal in length. So this brings to mind an isosceles triangle, right? An isosceles triangle, one of the property also is that the base angles are equal, right? The base angle are angles that are formed not just at the baseline, but at the end of these 2 lines that are equal in length. All right, so this angle and this angle are equal in length based on that property of an isosceles triangle. So to find the value of n, first of all, let us look at the equilateral triangle. All right, this small triangle here, it is an equilateral triangle, right? Let me first shade it. All right, the triangle colored red now is an equilateral triangle. Okay, while the triangle blue is an isosceles triangle. All right, so let's take that in mind as we solve. All right, beautiful. So now the first thing that we need to do is to consider this small triangle. This is a small equilateral triangle. Let me mark this angle first. This angle is marked 1 at the angle, another interior angle, right, another interior angle. Okay, so one of the properties of an equilateral triangle is that all the interior angles are exactly equal to 60 degrees. Okay, so without any calculation, without any statements, we just know that by standard, since this is an equilateral triangle, each interior angle is 60 degrees. So we can represent them 60 here, 60 here, 60 here. You can easily prove that by adding the three angles together, which is 60, 60, 60, and we'll get 180 degrees, which give us the sum of angles in the triangle, right? So 60, 60, 60 stands for the interior angles of this equilateral triangle. All right. Now let's look at the isosceles triangle, right? We don't know the actual angle, but one thing we are sure is that this angle must be equal to this angle. Why? Because they are base angles. Let me give them double stroke to show that they are equal. They are base angle of an isosceles triangle. While this one, I'll give it a single stroke to show that it must be quite different from the rest. Okay. All right. Now that aside, for us to calculate this angle, because we need the value of this angle, this is the most important angle we need here, but we know that its value must be equal to this one also. All right, so for us to calculate this angle here, this angle that I just calculated here, the angle that should be here, for us to calculate this angle, we must first of all consider this big triangle. All right, this big triangle as a whole. All right, we consider this as a triangle. Okay, yes, because it is a triangle. All right, now considering this triangle, we look at this 125 as the exterior angle, this 125 as the exterior angle. All right, now if this 125 is the exterior angle, then the other angles are the interior opposite angles. Okay, they have 60, they have this angle, right? Let me call this angle A for the time being. All right, if this angle A, obviously this is also angle A. Why? Because they are the same. All right, let me call this angle K just for the time being. All right, this angle K, this angle A. That means in the isosceles triangle we have 3 angles: angle A, and angle K. All right, A and A, of course, we have the same value because they are isosceles triangle. Why K is different from the rest. Beautiful. Now, considering this big triangle, as I said earlier, we have 125. So 125 must be equal to 60 plus a, right? 125, which is the exterior angle of a triangle. I'm talking about the larger triangle now, is equals to a plus 60. Why? The exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of opposite interior angle, right? So we collect like terms. A will be equal to 60 and 125 minus 60. Alright? So if you subtract 125 minus 60, we are going to get 65 degrees. So A is actually 65 degrees, exactly 65 degrees. Okay? So this A is 65 degrees. So let me write my 65. Okay, let me start with 65 degrees. And this place is also 65 degrees. Alright? Why? Because they are equal, of course. Now to find K, K will be equal to 180 minus 65 as one of the base angle minus another 65 as the other base angle, right? Because we are talking about sum of angle in a triangle now, they must give us 180 or so. So 180 minus 65 minus 65, right? Sorry, this place is 180 minus 65 minus 65, okay? So it's equal to 180 minus 65 minus 65. Subtract carefully, we are going to get 20 degrees, alright? So this place is 20 degrees. So K is equal to 20 degrees. Alright. So that being said, we are going to look at this straight line now, alright? This as a straight line. This is a straight line, yes, and this is a point. So angle on the straight line, we are having angle 20, angle 5n, and angle 60, right? So 5n plus 20 plus 60 is equal to 180 degrees. And our reason is the sum of angle on a straight line, okay? So if you do that carefully, 5n plus 80 degrees, that's 60 plus 20, is equal to 180 degrees, alright? So we collect like times 5n is equal to, I will do it direct, 180 minus 80 will give us 100, okay? And we divide both sides by what? Over 5 over 5. 5 we cancel 5 we cancel 5 here. How many times? 20 times. Therefore n is equals to 20 degrees, and that is it. We have solved for the value of n, which is equal to 20 degrees. Alright, and that is it. Thank you very much. Please like and share.